September 6th. Good morning, and thank you for joining us. I'm Gary Libertor.
And I'm Storm Tracker 2 meteorologist Hannah Evans.
And boy, was it a steamy one yesterday.
Yes, it's going to be the same thing today.
2 in a row.
Yes, 2 in a row, very hot and humid. We'll feel like the mid-90s today again.
But then cool down a little bit tomorrow, right?
Yeah, so tomorrow will be in the upper 80s, still feeling like the lower 90s though. And then the weekend will start to cool down, but it's still that humidity is sticking around.
It is sticky.
Yes, so let's take a look now at the temperatures to start. Pretty warm this morning. We're in the 60s, 65 degrees in Whitesboro and 63 degrees in Cooperstown. Still muggy, 61 degrees for the dew point. Today we'll reach near 8 or near 90 for that temperature, and then this dew point will reach near 70 again. So it's going to feel like the mid-90s once again for today. So make sure you stay cool and hydrated. We'll be hot and humid again tomorrow, but we do see the possibility of a few pop-up thunderstorms. More scattered showers and thunderstorms come in for Friday and the weekend. It does start to cool down, but it's still going to be humid. So today, hot and humid, sunny, highs near 90. It's going to feel in the mid-90s. I will talk a little bit more about when this heat will come to an end coming up, Gary.
Anna, thank you. Let's get right to it now. Hamilton College's Common Ground series.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired.
Welcome back. It's going to get hot and humid again this afternoon. I would definitely recommend skipping the dog walk because we are going to reach near 90 degrees and the surface is going to be even hotter. Asphalt 140 degrees, concrete 125 degrees, and dogs' paws can burn very quickly in this type of heat. So either keep them on the shaded grass or wait till after sunset or do it this morning. Definitely don't do it in the heat of the day here this afternoon. Also, since it has been so humid, we are going to be seeing a lot of mosquito activity over the next few days. Today, tomorrow, Friday, even into Saturday and Sunday, it looks like we are going to be seeing lots of mosquitoes. But once we start to cool down next week, these will die off because next week it's looking like we are going to be just around and below average in terms of temperature. So if you don't like this heat that we're seeing next week, it does look to cool down. Gary.
I'm tired of those mosquitoes already.
Yes, so am I.
Hannah, thanks. Well, Utica Police.
From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Hannah Evans.
Good morning, everybody. We are starting out with patchy fog this morning, and it is already warm and muggy. Let's take a look at downtown Utica. It's going to get hot and humid today. Once again, see here, no fog in Utica. We are just seeing partly cloudy skies, but on our Utica National Tower camera overlooking Cooperstown, we're seeing that it is a little bit foggy outside, so just be careful when heading out the door this morning. But we're waking up warm once again. Our temperatures are in the 60s, 63 degrees in Dalgeville, 65 degrees in Whitesboro, and if we look to the south, 65 degrees in Sherburne, 64 degrees in Cooperstown, a little bit muggy, 61 degrees for that dew point. High temperatures today will reach near 90 again, and this dew point value will reach near 70 again. So it is going to remain pretty humid over the next few days. It starts to decrease a little bit into the weekend, but it's still going to feel muggy outside. So once again today, it's going to feel like the mid-90s. Tomorrow, it starts to get a little bit better. It's still going to feel like the lower 90s because our high temperatures reach the upper 80s. Then as we head into Friday and the weekend, it starts to get a little bit better. We cool down in terms of temperature. We'll be in the 70s over the weekend, but it's still going to be humid, so it's still going to feel closer to 80 degrees. We are dry on our Yorkville Battery, Storm Tracker 2, Doppler radar. We will remain dry today. Our next chance of rain doesn't look to be until tomorrow. And since it's going to be sunny, hot, and humid again today, the National Weather Service has issued another heat advisory for the same counties as yesterday. Oneida, Southern Herkimer, Lewis, Madison, and Shenango, starting at noon until 7 p.m. due to heat index values possibly reaching the mid-90s. So definitely stay cool and stay hydrated again today. It's going to be very hot out, similar to yesterday. We start to cool down a little bit tomorrow. It's still going to be in the upper 80s though, but we do see the possibility of a pop-up thunderstorm or two. Then as we head into Friday and the weekend, scattered showers and thunderstorms are going to be possible due to a cold front. With that cold front, we start to cool down into Saturday and Sunday. We'll be back in the 70s, but it's still going to be pretty humid outside. Next week is when we looks like that cooler weather will come in, that more fall-like weather. But for the rest of this week, it remains hot and humid. Today, highs will reach near 90 again. We'll be in the lower 80s at noon, near 90 later this afternoon. Really humid. And tonight will be warm and muggy with a low in the 60s. Tomorrow, a pop-up thunderstorm is possible. So it's going to be hot again. At noon, we'll be in the mid-80s, and we'll kind of stay in the mid-80s throughout the day. A few pop-up thunderstorms are going to be possible later in the afternoon tomorrow. But today will be dry, sunny, hot, humid, near 90 degrees. It's going to feel like the mid-90s, so stay cool and hydrated. Tonight will drop to the 60s with muggy conditions. We see a few thunderstorms possible tomorrow. A cold front stalls over us for Friday and the weekend, bringing showers and thunderstorms, and then we'll start to cool down over the weekend as well, Gary.
It is a steamy week.
Yes, so the rest of this week looks hot, and then the weekend starts to cool down.
Yeah, drink that water.
Yes.
Hannah, thanks. The time right now is 5:21. Coming, everyone, and thank you for joining us for this half hour. I'm Gary Liberatore.
And I'm Storm Tracker 2 meteorologist Hannah Evans.
And did you get outside yesterday after you got out of work?
Yes, I was at the golf course.
And it was steamy.
Yes, it was really hot and humid. I was sweating. Today it's going to be the same.
It did nothing to your hair, though. Looks great.
I know, thank you. So let's take a look now at the temperatures to start. We're in the 60s, 65 degrees in Whitesboro and Lake Pleasant, 63 degrees in Cooperstown and Earlville. So warm this morning, still muggy. We have 61 degrees for the dew point. Today that temperature will reach near 90 again, and this dew point will reach near 70. So once again, it's going to feel like the mid-90s today. Our next chance of rain is tomorrow. A pop-up shower or thunderstorm is possible, but it's still going to be hot and humid tomorrow. We'll start to cool down into the weekend as we see showers and thunderstorms, but it's still going to be humid. It gets cooler next week. So today, expect sunshine, highs reaching near 90, heat index values in the mid-90s. I will talk a little bit more about this heat coming up, Gary.
Hannah, thank you. And don't forget the Storm Tracker 2 forecast is never more than 10 minutes away. Now, 7 days.
The Cooperstown Camp is brought to you by Utica National Insurance Group.
Welcome back. It's warm this morning, 63 degrees for the temperature, and it's a little bit muggy, 61 degrees for the dew point. So we're already starting out pretty warm. We are seeing patchy fog as well, so just be careful of that. Today, those clouds and the fog will decrease, and it's going to get really hot and humid again. Highs are going to be near 90 with dew point values near 70. It's going to make it feel like the mid-90s. Once again, a heat advisory is in effect for Lewis, Madison, Shenango, Oneida, and southern Herkimer County from noon until 7 p.m. today due to that heat and humidity. So today, hot and humid weather continues. Our next chance of rain is going to be tomorrow. A few pop-up thunderstorms are possible, although it's still going to be hot and humid. We start to cool down into the weekend in the 70s as we see scattered showers and thunderstorms. Gary.
Hannah, thanks. Lawyers representing convicted murderers.
New York's most dependable weather team. Here's meteorologist Hannah Evans.
Good morning, everybody. We are starting out with some patchy fog this morning. It's muggy and humid outside. It's going to be really hot this afternoon once again. Let's take a look at downtown Utica. As you can see, some fog lingering. It's a little bit heavier in the valleys and in higher elevations this morning. We are starting out dry, and we will be sunny today, getting very hot and humid. Our temperatures this morning are in the 60s, so pretty warm to start. We have 65 degrees in Whitesboro and 67 degrees in Deansboro. Looking to the south, we have 64 degrees in Cooperstown. Our dew point's at 61 degrees, so just a little bit muggy to start. This dew point will reach near 70, and our temperature will reach near 90. So it's going to be really hot and humid again today, and that humidity even looks to stick around into the weekend. With the combination of that dew point number and that temperature, it's going to feel like the mid-90s once again for today. So another really hot and humid today, very similar to yesterday. Tomorrow, it's going to be the same. Hot and humid once again with a few thunderstorms possible. We'll start to cool down into the weekend, but that humidity sticks around. So although we'll drop into the 70s this weekend, it's still going to feel like it's near 80 degrees. We are dry on our Yorkville battery, Storm Tracker 2, Doppler radar. We will remain dry and sunny again today. That sun really heated us up, getting very hot and humid. We have another heat advisory that was put out by the National Weather Service for the same counties as yesterday: Oneida, Southern Herkimer, Lewis, Madison, and Shenango, and that is from noon until 7 p.m. again today. We will remain completely dry with a few pop-up thunderstorms coming in tomorrow. So today it's going to get really hot. It will cool down a little bit tomorrow, but it's still going to feel like it's near 90, and we see a few pop-up thunderstorms. As we head into Friday and the weekend, a cold front stalls over us. That starts to cool us down, and that does bring in scattered showers and thunderstorms, and that looks to last through the weekend. So on our Skycast today, we are going to continue to be really hot. We'll be in the lower 80s at noon and the upper 80s for the high temperature, but it's going to feel like the mid-90s. Tonight it will be warm and muggy again with the low in the 60s. Tomorrow, same thing, hot and humid. We'll be in the mid-80s at noon. We'll kind of stay in the mid to upper 80s for the high temperature. We will be seeing extra cloud cover, and there is the possibility of a few pop-up thunderstorms tomorrow afternoon. So it's going to be hot and humid for the rest of this week, it looks like. Really hot and humid again today with those feels-like temperatures in the mid-90s. Tonight we'll drop to the upper 60s, still warm and muggy. Tomorrow we'll still be in the upper 80s with a few pop-up thunderstorms. We'll see a cold front moving on Friday, bringing more scattered showers and thunderstorms that continue through the weekend. And we'll finally start to cool down next week, Gary.
Not a cloud in the sky today.
Yes, so today it's going to be sunnier than yesterday, so it's going to get a little bit hotter.
Yeah, be careful out there.
Yes.
Hannah, thanks. Right now, reporter Patrick Cornell has a look at folks getting an early winter preview in today's edition of Take a Look at This.
It's a spicy September for much of the country. Yeah, it's hot, but in at least one part of the Southwest,
winter is coming.
yes, this is exactly what the Stark family feared. Definitely not those White Walkers. Anywho, at the aptly named Snowbird in Utah, the resort got their first snow of the season. A September surprise of sorts for visiting guests celebrating Oktoberfest, which probably helped keep the drinks cold. And naturally, others created some winter weaponry.
You immediately throw a snowball at it.
Oh yeah, of course. I think I've thrown a snowball at everybody.
Even the king of the north might not have messed with this beast. That giant gator, a record breaker according to the Mississippi Department of Wildlife, Fisheries and Parks. Clocking in at 14 feet 3 inches long and 800 pounds, it's the longest alligator ever harvested in the state. And just look at those teeth. Yikes. That behemoth certainly could have competed in this next competition, the U.S. Chicken Wing Eating Championship. An astonishing Australian wing-eating wizard taking home the top prize. James Webb worked his way through 276 of those bad boys in 12 minutes, even beating hot dog king Joey Chestnut, much to his own amazement.
If you told me this yesterday, I would have laughed in your face. I'm so shocked right now. I'm just grateful.
For Take a Look at This, I'm Patrick Cornell.
And the time right now is 5:53. Still us, I'm Gary Libertor.
And I'm Storm Tracker 2 meteorologist Hannah Evans.
And get ready for day 2 of this heat wave, right?
Yes, so today it's going to be sunny, hot and humid. Highs will be near 90, but it's going to feel like the mid-90s.
Yeah, it's going to be sticky.
Yes, so definitely stay cool and hydrated today. Let's take a look now at the temperatures to start. We're in the 60s. We have 64 degrees in Whitesboro and 63 degrees in Cooperstown. Our dew point is at 60 degrees this morning, so a little bit muggy to start and warm. Today, this dew point number will reach near 70, so that's pretty humid, and our temperature will reach near 90. So with that combination, it's going to feel like the mid-90s. This hot and humid weather continues into tomorrow as well, but we do see the possibility of a few pop-up thunderstorms in the afternoon. Then we see more showers and thunderstorms through the weekend, so it does cool down and it does get wet. This cool down will occur next week. We'll be right around average for this time of year, so it remains hot and humid through the end of this week. Finally, a cool down comes in next week. So today, expect highs near 90. Feels like temperatures in the mid-90s. I will talk a little bit more about when this heat will come to an end coming up, Gary.
Anna, thank you. Let's get right to it now. Hamilton College's
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired.
Welcome back. It's going to be hot and humid again today. Highs are going to be near 90, and when the air is this temperature, the ground is even hotter. We see concrete coming in at 125 degrees, asphalt at 140 degrees. So I would definitely skip the dog walk this afternoon, especially in the heat of the day, because their paws can burn really quickly. Get that done this morning before it heats up or after sunset tonight so their paws don't burn. Also, since it has been so humid, there is going to be a lot of mosquito activity and looks to continue into the weekend. So just be careful of that. If you're going to be outside, wear bug spray. Mosquito activity is going to be very high through the weekend. These look to die off as we head into next week when it does cool down. So if you don't like this hot and humid weather, it does cool down. Our 6 to 10 day temperature outlooks looks like we will be right around and below average for this time of year in our region heading into next week. Gary.
Cool down is coming.
Yes, I'm excited.
Hannah, thanks. While Utica police are
From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Hannah Evans.
Good morning, everybody. We are starting out with foggy conditions this morning. It's going to be hot and humid again today with highs near 90. Let's take a look at downtown Utica. It looks cloudy because the fog is starting to lift here in Utica, but if we take a closer look at our Utica National camera in Cooperstown, as we can see, still pretty foggy there, so just be careful when heading out the door this morning. We're starting out warm and muggy. Our sky watchers have us in the 60s again, 66 degrees in Deerfield and 65 degrees in Clinton. Looking to the south, we have 62 degrees in Edmondson and 64 degrees in Morris and West Lawrence. Our dew point is right at 60 degrees. It is going to get humid again today with dew point values right near 70 degrees. That's really humid. It's going to feel really muggy and hot again today, and it will just continue to be humid even into the weekend. So our heat index today is expected to be in the mid-90s. Our high temperature is going to be right near 90, and with that dew point value right near 70 degrees, it's going to feel a lot warmer than the actual temperature. Tomorrow, we're going to be hot and humid again, so it's going to feel like the lower 90s again tomorrow. But then as we head into Friday and the weekend, we see a cold front come in. It cools us down a little bit, but that humidity sticks around, so it's still going to feel warm. On Friday, we're expected to be in the lower 80s. It's probably going to feel closer to the upper 80s. And on Saturday and Sunday, we are expected to be in the mid 70s. So it's probably going to feel closer to 80 degrees with that humidity. We are dry this morning on our Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. We will remain dry for today. Our next chance of rain does come in tomorrow. But since we are dry and sunny and hot today, we have another heat advisory issued by the National Weather Service. This is for the same counties as yesterday, which includes Lewis, Oneida, Southern Herkimer, Madison, and Shenango from noon until 7 p.m. That's when it looks like our heat index values are going to be in the mid-90s. We do see some pop-up thunderstorms come in tomorrow, but we don't cool down too much. We'll still be hot and humid, and then more scattered showers and thunderstorms come in for Friday and the weekend. We will cool down a little bit, but we'll still be humid. So today, another really hot and humid day. It's going to be similar to yesterday. We'll be in the low 80s at noon and the upper 80s for the high temperature, feeling like the mid-90s. Tonight will be warm and muggy with the low in the 60s. Tomorrow, we do see some unsettled weather come in. We'll be seeing extra cloud cover, and we'll be in the mid to upper 80s with a few passing thunderstorms tomorrow afternoon. So today, expected to be dry and sunny. It gets really hot and humid with highs near 90. It's going to feel like the mid-90s, so stay cool and hydrated. Tonight, we'll be seeing lows in the upper 60s. Tomorrow is still hot and humid with a few thunderstorms possible. We'll start to cool down as we head into Friday and the weekend, but it's still going to be humid with unsettled weather. We finally cool down to more fall weather next week.
It's coming.
Yes, so I'm excited for the fall weather. I think it's time.
Yeah, especially with these 90-degree and high
Yes.
humidity days. Hannah, thanks. Be sure to like us on Facebook. Thank you for joining us for this half hour. I'm Gary Liberatore.
And I'm Storm Tracker 2 meteorologist Hannah Evans.
And boy, was it hot out yesterday.
Yes, it's going to be similar today. So we'll be seeing highs near 90, but it's going to feel like the mid-90s.
Yeah, bring that big old thing of water, right?
Yes, the lunk alarm. So let's take a look now at the temperatures to start. We're in the 60s, 64 degrees in Whitesboro and 62 degrees in Westmoreland, Earlville, and Cooperstown. We're a bit muggy to start as well. 60 degrees for the dew point. Today we'll reach near 70 degrees for the dew point, and that temperature will be right near 90. So it's going to feel like the mid-90s today. So this heat and humidity continues. Definitely stay hydrated and stay cool today. Our next chance of rain is tomorrow, but it's still going to be hot and humid. A few pop-up thunderstorms are possible tomorrow afternoon, and then we cool down and see more showers and thunderstorms for the weekend, but it's still going to be humid. So today, expect sunshine, humidity, highs near 90. It's going to feel like the mid-90s. I will talk a little bit more about when this heat will come to an end. Coming up, Gary.
Anna, thanks. And don't forget, the Storm Tracker 2 forecast is never more than 10 minutes away. Well, now 7.
The Cooperstown Cam is brought to you by Utica National Insurance Group.
Welcome back. We're warm and muggy and starting out with some fog this morning. We have 62 degrees at the Groovers Park Airport in Rome, and the dew point's at 60 degrees. So today we will reach near 90 again for the temperature, and that dew point will reach near 70. So it's going to feel like the mid-90s once again this afternoon. Because of this, the National Weather Service has issued another heat advisory for the same counties as yesterday from noon to 7 p.m. today. This is for Lewis, Oneida, Southern Herkimer, Madison, and Shenango counties. So the hot and humid weather does continue one more day today. It's still going to be hot and humid tomorrow, but we do see some clouds come in and a few pop-up thunderstorms. We will cool down a little bit for the weekend and see more showers and thunderstorms. Gary.
Hannah, thanks. Lawyers representing convicted murderer.
New York's most dependable weather team. Here's meteorologist Hannah Evans.
Good morning, everybody. We are starting out with some fog this morning. We're warm and muggy. Today, we're going to be hot and humid again. Let's take a look at downtown Utica. Some patchy fog this morning. Just be careful of that if you are heading out the door. We are dry, though, and we will remain dry and turn sunny for today. Our sky watchers already have us pretty warm this morning. We're in the 60s, 66 degrees in Deerfield and 65 degrees in Clinton. Looking to the south, still pretty warm, 62 degrees in Evanston and 64 degrees in Morris and West Lawrence. Our dew point is sitting right at 60 degrees this morning, so a little bit muggy outside, but this number today will reach near 70. That is pretty humid, and our temperature will reach near 90. So with the combination of those two numbers, today it's going to feel like the mid-90s, very similar to yesterday. Tomorrow, we cool down a little bit more, but it's still going to be hot and humid. We'll be in the 80s, so it's still going to feel closer to 90 degrees. And then as we head into the weekend, a cold front comes in, bringing in some showers and thunderstorms. So that does cool us down to the 70s for Saturday and Sunday, but it's still going to be humid. So it's going to feel like we're closer to 80 degrees. So today, Nala and her neighbor Lenny are super excited. That's going to be sunny again. Lenny is already soaking up that sunshine this morning, taking a nap on the couch right in the sun, but they'll take breaks again today since it will be hot. They'll sit by the air conditioner as well for some time today. We are dry on our Yorkville battery, Storm Tracker 2, Doppler radar. We will remain dry today. Our next chance of rain is not until tomorrow, but today it will be sunny and hot again. The National Weather Service has issued another heat advisory for the same counties as yesterday. That includes Lewis, Oneida, Southern Herkimer, Madison, and Shenango counties from noon until 7 p.m. That is when it's going to feel like the mid-90s. So stay cool and stay hydrated again today. It's going to be another hot and humid day tomorrow, but we do see a few pop-up thunderstorms and extra cloud cover come in. A cold front moves in on Friday and stalls over us for the weekend. So Friday through, it looks like Monday, we are going to be seeing some scattered showers and thunderstorms, and then we'll start to really cool down next week. So the rest of this week will remain hot and humid. Today is going to be similar to yesterday. We'll be in the lower 80s at noon and the mid to upper 80s for the high temperature. It's going to feel like the mid-90s though. Tonight will remain warm and muggy. We'll fall into the 60s. And then tomorrow we do see some extra cloud cover coming in, but we're still going to be hot. We'll be in the mid-80s at noon, and we'll kind of stay in the mid to upper 80s for the high temperature. But we will be seeing some pop-up thunderstorms rolling through tomorrow afternoon. So stay cool and hydrated today. We are going to be seeing sunny and hot conditions. We'll be near 90, and it's going to be humid. Tonight will be warm and muggy again overnight with the low in the upper 60s. Tomorrow will be hot and humid as well. We'll be in the upper 80s. A few pop-up thunderstorms roll through tomorrow afternoon. A cold front moves in on Friday and stalls over us. That does bring in showers and thunderstorms for the weekend. We finally start to cool down next week. Gary.
A cool down is in sight.
Yes, so it's going to be more fall-like, I would say middle, end of next week, which I'm excited for. I do like the fall weather.
Yeah, I know a lot of people hate this hot weather, but I enjoy it, and I'd like it to last as long as possible before that snow falls.
Yes, for sure.
Hannah, thanks. Right now, reporter Patrick Cornell has...
From where the news comes first, this is News Channel 2 at 7 a.m. on CW11.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us here on the CW11. I'm Garrett Libertor.
And I'm Storm Tracker 2 meteorologist Hannah Evans.
And get ready for another hot one today, just like yesterday.
Yes, we're going to be near 90 again, but it's going to feel like the mid-90s because it's humid.
Yeah, sticky, too.
Yes, so stay cool and hydrated. Let's take a look now at the temperatures to start. We're already starting out in the 60s. We have 64 degrees in Whitesboro, 61 degrees in Richfield Springs. A little bit muggy this morning, 60 degrees for the dew point. The temperature today will reach near 90. This dew point value will reach near 70. So with that combination of the humidity and the heat, it's going to feel like the mid-90s again today. So it's going to be hot and humid again, very similar to yesterday with sunshine. Our next chance of rain is tomorrow. We do see hot and humid conditions again tomorrow, but a few pop-up thunderstorms are possible in the afternoon. And we do see a cold front approach Friday, so it does start to get a little bit cooler this weekend, and we do see showers and thunderstorms. So today, expect sunshine, heat, humidity, highs near 90, heat index values in the mid-90s. I will talk a little bit more about when this heat will come to an end coming up, Gary.
Hannah, thanks. Let's get right to it now. Hamilton College's Common...
From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Hannah Evans.
Good morning, everybody. We are starting out with some patchy fog this morning. It's also warm and muggy. Will be hot and humid again this afternoon. Let's take a look at downtown Utica. As we can see, the fog is starting to lift this morning. It is dry outside, but just be careful of driving through this fog, especially in higher elevations. And in the valleys, today we will get really hot and humid. Our skywatchers already have us in the 60s this morning. We have 65 degrees in Clinton and Mohawk. And if we look to the south, we have 64 degrees in Morris and West Lawrence. Our dew point's at 60 degrees, so we are starting out muggy. This will reach near 70 today, very humid, and that temperature will reach near 90. And with that, it's going to feel like the mid-90s. Once again this afternoon, really hot and humid. It's going to cool down a little bit more tomorrow, but still is going to feel closer to 90. And a cold front will finally approach on Friday, cooling us down for the weekend, but it's still going to be humid. So we'll be in the 70s this weekend, but still probably going to feel closer to 80. We are dry on our Yorkville battery, Storm Tracker 2, Doppler radar. We will remain dry today with our next chance of rain tomorrow. But since we are dry, sunny, and hot again today, National Weather Service has issued another heat advisory for the same counties as yesterday. That includes Lewis, Oneida, Southern Herkimer, Madison, and Chenango counties from noon until 7 p.m. So we will be dry with sunshine, heat, and humidity today. Still hot and humid tomorrow, but some extra clouds come in along with a few pop-up thunderstorms in the afternoon. And a cold front finally approaches Friday, bringing more scattered showers and thunderstorms for Friday through the weekend as we start to cool down. So today, hot and humid again, very similar to yesterday. We'll be in the low 80s at noon and the upper 80s for the high temperature, feeling like the mid-90s. Tonight we'll drop into the 60s. We'll be a little bit muggy still overnight. And tomorrow, still hot and humid, but extra cloud cover comes in. At noon, we'll be in the mid-80s and we'll be in the upper 80s for the high temperature with a few pop-up thunderstorms rolling through in the afternoon. So today, it's going to be completely dry and sunny. Make sure to stay cool and hydrated. It will be another hot day. Tonight, it will be muggy and uncomfortable for sleeping again, so definitely grab that air conditioner. Tomorrow is still hot and humid. We'll be in the upper 80s with a few pop-up thunderstorms. More showers and thunderstorms approach for Friday through the weekend. We'll start to cool down due to a cold front, and that cooler fall weather will come in next week.
Alert day here in central New York as the hazy, hot and humid conditions continue. Now in our second straight day of this extreme weather. Meteorologist Hannah Evans joining us now. And Hannah, just how hot are we talking today?
So today is going to be very similar to yesterday, where we will be seeing heat index values in the mid-90s. Because of this, the National Weather Service has issued once again a heat advisory for the same counties as this was issued for yesterday. This includes Lewis, Oneida, Southern Herkimer, Madison, and Shenango counties from now until 7 p.m. this evening. So we're already in the lower 80s here at noon. It is 81 degrees, and that dew point is 69 degrees. So it is pretty humid. It's feeling a couple of degrees warmer. It's feeling like 84 degrees now. Our temperature today is expected to reach the upper 80s, so that feels like temperature will be in the mid 90s. So it is going to continue to be hot and humid today and tomorrow, but tomorrow we do see a round of thunderstorms possible in the afternoon. A cold front comes in on Friday, and that does bring in cooler and more unsettled weather for the weekend, but it still remains humid. So today expect heat and humidity, highs in the upper 80s, feels like temperatures in the mid 90s. I will talk a little bit more about when this will completely come to an end coming up, Gary.
And that humidity is bad out there.
Yes, very hot.
Hey, Hannah, thanks. And firefighters had a battle of
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Hannah Evans.
Good afternoon, everybody. We are tracking sunshine today, and once again, it's hazy, hot, and humid. Let's take a look at downtown Utica. Clear blue skies right now. We are dry, and the sun is really heating us up this afternoon. It's going to be another hot and humid day, very similar to yesterday. Our sky watchers have us mostly in the lower 80s here now. We have 83 degrees in Clinton and Mohawk and 78 degrees in Forestport and Old Forge. It's also very humid, 69 degrees for that dew point. So this is rising. It is getting very humid outside at this hour. And with the temperature and the humidity, it's making it feel closer to the mid 80s at this hour, 84 degrees. So today, once the temperature rises to near 90, this heat index value looks to rise to the mid 90s today. Tomorrow, it's going to be hot and humid again, but we do see a little bit extra cloud cover come in, and a few thunderstorms are possible. So this lowers the heat index a little bit. We will see a cold front come in on Friday, and this will lower the temperature for the weekend. We will be in the 70s this weekend, but it's still going to be humid, so it's still going to feel probably closer to 80. So today, Nala and her neighbor are just soaking up that sunshine. Today, she is saying hi to Lenny, but Lenny's asleep right in the sunshine on the couch. They'll also take breaks out of the sun today because it does get really hot at times, so they'll also be sitting by the air conditioner as well this afternoon. We are dry on our Yorkville battery, Storm Tracker 2, Doppler radar. We will remain dry today with our next chance of rain tomorrow, but still, both today and tomorrow, it gets really hot. I would definitely recommend skipping that dog walk this afternoon. As temperatures reach near 90, the concrete is going to be way over that, 125 degrees. Asphalt, even at 140 degrees, and their paws can burn very fast in that. So if it's enough to burn your feet, definitely enough to burn their paws. So just be careful of that. I would maybe wait till after sunset. We're also going to be seeing lots of mosquito activity over the next few days, even through the weekend, as it remains humid. So keep that in mind, and wear your bug spray if you will be outside, especially at night. So on our Skycast today, we will continue to see hazy, hot, and humid conditions. Feels like temperatures will be in the mid 90s. Tonight will be warm and muggy in the 60s. Tomorrow, still hot and humid, but extra cloud cover comes in. We'll reach the mid to upper 80s with a few thunderstorms possible later in the afternoon tomorrow. So today, expect dry conditions, sunshine, very hot and humid weather. We'll reach near 90 degrees, but we'll feel closer to the mid 90s. Tonight will still be muggy overnight with the low in the 60s. A few thunderstorms come in tomorrow, but before that, it's still going to be hot and humid. Highs in the upper 80s. We see more widespread rain return Friday due to a cold front. It cools us down this weekend, but will still be pretty humid. Gary.
Hannah, thanks. Escaped murderer Danilo Cavalcante. Welcome back. If you haven't been outside yet today, you might not want to. It is extremely sticky out there as we are in day 2 of this very hazy, hot, and humid stretch. Meteorologist Hannah Evans is tracking it all for us in the Weather Center. And Hannah, boy, it's a sticky one out there.
Yes, very similar to yesterday, very hot and humid. It's going to feel like the mid-90s again this afternoon. Because of this, the National Weather Service issued another heat advisory today until 7 p.m. for the same counties as yesterday. These include Lewis, Oneida, Southern Herkimer, Madison, and Shenango counties. Right now, we're at 81 degrees being measured at the Griffith Park Airport in Rome, but that dew point's at 69 degrees. That's very humid. It does feel a couple of degrees warmer. It feels like 84 degrees at this hour. So once the temperature reaches the upper 80s this afternoon, it's going to feel closer to the mid-90s. So hot and humid weather continues for both today and tomorrow. But tomorrow it's going to be a little bit cooler because we do see the possibility of some thunderstorms in the afternoon. A cold front moves in Friday that does bring in rain through the weekend. It does start to cool us down, but it looks to stay humid. So today expect heat and humidity, sunshine, highs near 90, feels like values in the mid-90s. I will talk a little bit more about when this heat will come to an end. Coming up, Gary.
Hannah, thanks. And this excessive heat is not only here in New York.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Hannah Evans.
Good afternoon, everybody. We are still tracking hazy, hot, and humid weather today. It's going to feel close to the mid-90s. Let's take a look at downtown Utica. Nice sunny skies this afternoon. We are dry, and that sun is really heating us up. As of right now, we're in the 80s, but we look to reach closer to 90 degrees for that high temperature. It's going to feel much warmer as well because of the humidity. Our sky watchers have us in the 80s mostly here at noon, 83 degrees in Clinton, Mohawk, and in Maryland. That dew point is at 69 degrees. That's pretty humid. And with the combination of this temperature and the dew point, today we look to feel a little bit closer to the mid-90s, but right now we feel like the mid-80s. So although we're in the low 80s, we feel closer to the mid-80s because of that dew point. As our temperature reaches the upper 80s, it's going to feel closer to the mid-90s. Tomorrow it's going to be hot and humid as well, but it gets a little bit better because we do see extra cloud cover come in, and we see the possibility of thunderstorms in the afternoon. As for Friday, a cold front approaches, so that does start to cool us down into the 70s for the weekend, but the humidity does stick around. We are dry on our Yorkville Battery, Storm Tracker 2, Doppler radar, and we will remain dry today. It's nice and sunny, also very humid, so I would definitely recommend skipping that dog walk this afternoon because it's going to get very hot. Once it reaches 90, the concrete is going to be 125 and the asphalt around 140 degrees. So I would say a rule of thumb, if it burns your feet, if it's hot enough to burn your feet, it's going to be hot enough to burn dogs' paws. So I would skip that walk this afternoon, maybe wait until after sunset later tonight. Also, since it is so humid, mosquitoes are going to be very active for the next few days, probably active into the weekend as that humidity does stick around. So if you will be outside, maybe wear bug spray, especially at night. So today on our Skycast, we will reach the upper 80s. It's going to feel closer to the mid-90s though. And tonight we'll drop into the 60s with muggy conditions. Tomorrow we see a little bit extra cloud cover come in, but it's still going to be warm and humid. We'll be in the mid to upper 80s for the high temperature with a few thunderstorms rolling through later in the afternoon tomorrow. So expect hot and humid conditions today with sunshine. It remains dry. It's going to feel closer to the mid-90s, and tonight we remain warm and muggy. Tomorrow we will be seeing scattered showers and thunderstorms possible in the afternoon. Then we see a cold front approach Friday. That starts to cool us down to the weekend, but that humidity sticks around. It doesn't look to get completely cool and more fall-like until, I would say, middle of next week. Gary?
And thanks, the Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs.
And go over to Chief Meteorologist Bill Cardis, because not only is tomorrow the first day of school, people are worried about what do we wear to go to school, and it's warm, and now you got an alert day for tomorrow.
Yeah, this is more preemptive. We've got some thunderstorms that are going to be around, and there's going to be a lot of people out. Kids going back to school, want to be weather aware of what's going on here. Let's take a look at the alert day graphic again. This is for tomorrow. Some strong storms are possible. We're not expecting anything widespread, but Again, a few of these could produce some strong winds and locally heavy rainfall. Again, the timing would be in the afternoon and early evening. Live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar is dry. It is a very warm but a very sunny evening here in central New York. 87 degrees is the current temperature. It feels like 89. We are going to lose the heat as this cold front arrives, but again, we do see the storms that come with it. We're going to time those out and look at how things cool off heading into the weekend, and that's coming up. Kristen, back to you.
Staying on the story, the city of
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
A cold front arrives tomorrow and puts an end to the heat across central New York. With that, some thunderstorms. It's an alert day. A possibility of some gusty winds as we head into Thursday afternoon, some locally heavy rain. Again, the timing of this would be in the afternoon and early evening, and all of central New York is under the possibility of this happening, especially east of Utica is a slightly higher chance. Here's a live look outside. It's been a hot day. Our high temperature so far 88. Possible that we could still hit 90 here, but it definitely felt like it with the humidity. And again, just a lovely afternoon, plenty of sunshine. Nice and dry across the region on the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. Temperatures this evening in the upper 80s, Stoudsville 89, 90 in Little Falls, Whitesboro 88, Westmoreland 87. Across Southern Valleys, Sherburne 90, Cooperstown 88, Skeneva's checking in with 86. And it's going to stay very warm this evening. A great night to use the air conditioner if you have it. We're holding on to clear skies for now. We'll see a few extra clouds tonight as some thunderstorms to the west fall apart. But this is all part of a cold front that will be arriving tomorrow. That'll bring some showers and thunderstorms. We'll be keeping an eye on that. We'll also be watching, which is now Hurricane Lee that's developed in the Atlantic. This is going to be making big headlines over the next several days as it becomes a major hurricane into the weekend. Right now, the long-term computer models do curve this to the north. We'll see where it goes. It's still far into the future here, and we'll continue to give you updates as we move along. Our Storm Tracker 2 Skycast tonight, it's going to be a very warm night. Overnight lows drop down only into the upper 60s, a very muggy night. We're looking at a dry start to the day tomorrow as the kids head off to school, partly sunny skies. As the kids return home, we could see a few thunderstorms developing in the afternoon and evening. Again, a couple of these could be on the stronger side too, so we'll have to keep an eye on that. Tomorrow night, scattered showers and storms possible, overnight lows in the upper 60s. Cooler weather arrives in stages as we head into the weekend. Friday, partly sunny skies, a slight chance of a shower or thunderstorm. It's trending drier Friday, but it's also trending wetter heading into Saturday and Sunday. Very muggy tonight, low temperature of 68. Tomorrow, another very warm and humid day, a high temperature of 87. Again, a few thunderstorms possible in the afternoon. A few of them could be on the stronger side. Friday, partly sunny, 83 degrees. The slight chance of a shower or storm in the afternoon. Turning wet over the weekend. Saturday and Sunday, cooling down into the 70s as we look ahead to early next week. So once the heat goes away as we head into the weekend, it's going to be a hard time getting it back.
Phil, thank you.
Yeah.
Well, right now, hazardous air is taking over.
In this half hour, let's get you back to Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
Yeah, it's tracking a very warm evening. A good night for ice cream. Great weather here. Temperatures will be in the 80s. You're going to want to eat it fast. It's going to be a very warm evening and perfect evening for that. We're looking at the chance for storms tomorrow. It won't be quite as nice to be outdoors, at least in the evening time. Tomorrow's storms could produce some locally gusty winds as well as heavy rainfall. The timing of this, again, the afternoon and the evening scatters. So not everybody sees this, but there is the chance there. And because of that, we've made tomorrow a Storm Tracker 2 alert day. Looking at the radar this evening, again, looking nice and dry. A cold front arrives tomorrow, and this is going to be a game changer. It puts an end to the heat. We're tracking much cooler weather ahead. Look at that forecast is coming up. Kristen, back to you.
All right, Bill, thank you. Utica.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
Another hot day today. Temperatures climbed into the upper 80s. The unofficial high, 88 degrees out of Griffiths and Rome. Many of us got close to 90, and it certainly felt like that with the humidity. Tonight, going to bed, it's going to be another stuffy night for sleeping. Warmer than last night. Thinking overnight lows only drop into the upper 60s, which would be one of the warmest nights we've seen so far this summer, so far this year. A great night to run the air conditioner if you have it. We have a few warm nights ahead, even though the daytime high temperatures will be on their way down throughout the course of the week. It still stays pretty warm at night, and that means the humidity just isn't going to go anywhere, at least for the short term. Live look in Oneonta. Lots of sunshine today. It's been another beautiful day, but again, it's hot. Live look at the Yorkville Battery, Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. All is quiet across the region. 85 in Barneveld, 80 in Schuyler, Micah, New Hartford, 85, Old Forge, 84, Inlet, 86. Across Southern Valleys, 83 in Hartwick, 88 in Ilion. Lyman and Eaton checking in with 90 degrees, Whitesboro with 86. We have a cold front approaching from the west. This is going to produce some thunderstorms in our area tomorrow. A few of those could be on the stronger side, and because there is that chance, we've got tomorrow as an alert day. Again, in the afternoon and evening, a few thunderstorms are possible. We're also keeping an eye on what is now Hurricane Lee in the middle of the Atlantic. The 5-day forecast from the National Hurricane Center makes it a major hurricane, Category 4, on the high end of a 4, too, by Sunday. The long-range models do eventually curve this storm to the north, but again, about 5 days is the limit here with hurricane forecasts, and we'll continue to keep an eye on that as it continues to head into the western Atlantic. Storm Tracker 2 Skycast tonight. We're looking at partly cloudy skies. Again, a very warm night. Overnight lows drop only into the upper 60s. It starts out very warm and very humid again tomorrow. A very uncomfortable day. Temperatures in the upper 80s. We do expect to see a few thunderstorms pop up in the afternoon. We'll stop things around 4 p.m. Again, some stronger storms are possible here too, although I think that would be the exception rather than the rule. Gusty winds, locally heavy rain possible. Chance of a few thunderstorms tomorrow night, as well as Friday, although Friday does look less wet than it did yesterday. Maybe just a passing shower. Otherwise, most of the day looks dry with high temperatures in the upper 70s to low 80s. Tonight, very muggy, low of 68. Tomorrow, another very warm and humid day. Chance of a thunderstorm in the afternoon. Again, a few of those could be on the stronger side, a high of 87. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast. A passing shower or storm possible Friday, 83. Widespread storms expected over the weekend, both Saturday and Sunday. Showers on Monday. Temperatures cool off. We're into the low 70s as we head into early next week. We'll be right back.
Here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
Yeah, we're going to be keeping an eye on the sky tomorrow. There is the chance of a few thunderstorms, and given the high humidity and heat, a few of these could be on the stronger side. We're thinking the afternoon and the evening, strong winds, small hail, locally heavy rain possible. This is not a slam dunk alert day. This is a situation where a few storms are expected to develop. It's not expected to be widespread, but again, with a lot of students going back to school and being outdoors, something we want to keep an eye on. Live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. Current temperature is 86. We got up to 88 today. So just below 90 degrees, but it certainly felt like that with the high humidity. Heading into this evening, it's very warm. Temperatures remain in the low 80s. We are tracking some cooler weather ahead. Now look at your forecast. It's coming up. Kristen, back to you.
The city of Oneonta is...
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
Good evening. We are tracking a return to some thunderstorms as a cold front moves in tomorrow. This is going to put an end to the heat and humidity. This September heat wave that we're in the middle of will be coming to an end. Let's take a look at The risk for severe weather tomorrow afternoon, it's not high, but it's there, and it's high enough where, again, we've made it an alert day. Talking about possibility of some gusty winds, locally heavy rain. The timing would be the late afternoon to early evening, and again, this includes all of central New York. Going to bed tonight, a great night for the air conditioner. It's one of the warmest nights we've seen so far this year, with overnight lows in the upper 60s, even though our nights are longer now than they were in June and July. With so much humidity in place, it's just going to be a tough night for sleeping. Live look outside. This is in downtown Utica. It's been a beautiful day, lots of sunshine. Our unofficial high, 88 degrees out of Griffiths and Rome. We'll know the high temperature. Sometimes it happens between hours. The Weather Service puts that information out later this evening. Live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. Nice and dry. Temperatures in the 80s this evening. Old Forge 84, Inlet 86, Curtis Corners 84. Mohawk, Jeff checking in with 87, Hartwick 83, Ilion 88, and Jason in Newport with 88 degrees. Again, a very warm, hot day across the area. Lots of places with the humidity, the heat index climbing into low 90s. Looking to the west, the cold front approaches the area. This will bring us some thunderstorms as we head into tomorrow as well as Friday. We'll be watching that closely. We'll be watching what's now Hurricane Lee out in the Atlantic. This is going to make a lot of headlines over the next several days as it moves west. It's expected to become a major hurricane, a high-end Category 4, maybe a Category 5 as we head into the weekend. And we'll see where it ends up turning as it heads into the western Atlantic early next week. Storm Tracker 2 Skycast tonight, a very warm night. Overnight lows drop down into the upper 60s. Tomorrow starts out dry. It's going to be another hot day. Temperatures in the upper 80s with partly sunny skies. The chance of a pop-up shower or thunderstorm is possible in the late afternoon to early evening. Again, be on the lookout for some gusty winds and locally heavy rain. More showers and storms are possible tomorrow night as this cold front slowly moves through the region. We will notice cooler weather here as we head into Friday. Still humid, but not quite as hot. Temperatures climb into the low 80s. It is trending drier on Friday, just the outside chance of a passing shower or storm. Very muggy tonight, low of 68. Tomorrow, partly sunny skies, humid, chance of an afternoon or evening thunderstorm, a high of 87. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast. Gradually cooling off in steps as we head into the next 7 days. Low 80s on Friday. Widespread showers and thunderstorms possible both Saturday and Sunday. We're into the low 70s by early next week.
What a change,
Ooh.
Bill. Thank you.
Thank you, Bill. Still to come on News Channel 2 at 6. Look at the forecast. We bring in Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis. And I want to talk a little bit about what we've got coming up tomorrow. An alert day, but we don't want to be overcautious. It's just one of those things that, you know, we could get some storms if need be.
And I think the thing is, we've got a cold front coming in.
Yep.
We've got the kids going to school. A lot of schools going back for the first time. Just something to be aware of here as we head into the afternoon. A couple of storms could be on the stronger side. I'm not expecting a big event here, but again, we want to be careful anyway. We're making it an alert day. Gusty winds, locally heavy rain. That's what we're going to be tracking as we head into tomorrow. Tonight, the weather looks pretty quiet. It's a really warm night. Temperatures are just not going to cool off very much. So if you have the air conditioner, it is going to be a must. The live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. Again, it is dry. The humidity is still very high. The air temperature is 73 degrees at 10 o'clock at night. Dew point still pushing 70 degrees. Again, very warm and very uncomfortable. And we're expecting overnight lows to drop down into the upper 60s. So we're one of the warmest nights of the year. Believe it or not, we see it in early September. We are tracking a cold front that brings a few thunderstorms and a cooling trend. We'll look at that forecast coming out. Jason, back to you.
Bill, thank you. New tonight, the Madison.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
Good evening. We're tracking the possibility of a few thunderstorms tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow evening. And because of that, we have a Storm Tracker 2 alert day. We're not expecting a big, widespread, strong storm event, but a couple of storms could be packing some gusty winds and locally heavy rain. The timing is the afternoon and the evening. Some scattered storms will be moving in. This is going to be part of a cold front, which will take its sweet time moving in. This is not going to be a significant drop in the temperature. It's going to take a few days for the cooler weather to build in. This is a live look outside, looking to the east in downtown Utica. We are tracking a thunderstorm over Lake Ontario. This is going to be lifting to the north and east. It's by itself, so we're not really expecting any wet weather tonight, but you might see some of that lightning to the north if that storm does hold together. Bigger picture shows a cold front, again, moving in from the west, a slow mover here. It produces some thunderstorms tomorrow, and then it gets hung up in our area as we head into the weekend. Keeping an eye on Hurricane Lee in the Atlantic. 75-mile-an-hour winds. It's expected to become a major hurricane as we head into the weekend, perhaps a Category 4, a high-end Category 4, before it starts to approach the East Coast. Some question marks as to where it goes. A lot of the forecast models have it turning to the north, but again, we'll give it a few more days and see how things trend. Storm Tracker 2 Skycast tonight. It's a warm night. Overnight lows again into the upper 60s. Great night for the air conditioner if you have it. Tomorrow we're looking at sunshine in the morning. It's a warm and humid day, and then we'll see a few thunderstorms in the afternoon. High temperatures again in the upper 80s, so about as warm as the past couple of days, but there will be the chance for some wet weather later on. A few thunderstorms are possible tomorrow night, and then Friday, the cold front again kind of just gets hung up to our right over our area, or maybe just to the west. And again, we're looking at partly cloudy skies, the chance of a passing shower or thunderstorm. It's still pretty humid on Friday, but it won't be quite as warm with high temperatures near 80 degrees. Very muggy tonight, low of 68. Tomorrow, we're looking at very humid weather with thunderstorms possible in the afternoon. Again, a couple of them could be on the stronger side. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast. Showers, thunderstorms possible Friday. A better chance for widespread wet weather Saturday and Sunday. Temperatures in the 70s. Rain Monday and cooler weather with highs in the low 70s heading into Tuesday.
In other words, August.
We'll go back to August. That's right. Yeah.
We're back to August. All right. Well, hey, enjoy the warm weather while we got it.
Yes.
All right. Thank you, Bill. Coming up next, our first look at the forecast tonight with Chief Meteorologist Bill Cardis. And we have an alert day set up for tomorrow. Explain why, because you know, not every alert day is a 10, but we want to make sure that everybody is aware of what to expect.
Yeah, this is one of the ones that we put out there because we're expecting a few thunderstorms. We're not expecting widespread storms. We're also not expecting them to be really bad.
Right.
But with so many kids going back to school and being outdoors, we just don't want anybody to be caught off guard by this. So we've got an alert day for tomorrow. Again, looking at some strong storms possible in the afternoon and evening, and just looking at some of the newest information coming in for tomorrow. It does look like the timing's been kind of pushed back more so into the evening time, which is good news. I think that should mean the kids get a chance to go home before the storms roll in. A live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. Things look pretty quiet across the region. And it is a warm night. Our current temperature is only 72. Lots of humidity in the air, clear skies. It's going to likely be the warmest night so far this year, with overnight lows only in the upper 60s. The weather does start to cool down. We've got a cold front that's going to slowly cool the temperatures off beginning tomorrow, at least tomorrow evening, and it also brings some thunderstorms. Going to look at the forecast coming up. Jason, back to you.
Bill, thank you. New tonight,
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Cardis.
Tracking a Storm Tracker 2 alert day tomorrow. We're looking at the possibility of a few thunderstorms. The Storm Prediction Center has highlighted Central New York in the risk for severe weather. It's not a high risk, but it's there. We're talking about gusty winds, locally heavy rain, some small hail possible. This looks to be later in the day. Looks like the late afternoon to evening is when a lot of those storms will be developing and moving in from the west. A live look outside in downtown Utica this evening. Pretty quiet weather locally. There is a severe thunderstorm moving towards Watertown at the very northwestern corner of Lewis County underneath that warning. But again, that does move north of our area, and we're not seeing anything additional popping in from the west. So it does look dry tonight. But that is the very leading edge of a slow-moving cold front that will produce more showers and thunderstorms in our area tomorrow, as well as into the weekend as the front stalls. So that's going to be our primary weather maker for the next couple of days. While that's going on, we're also going to be watching Hurricane Lee in the Atlantic. This is expected to become a major hurricane heading into the weekend, perhaps a high-end Category 4 storm. That's what the National Hurricane Center is predicting. And this is the 5-day track as it continues to move to the west. Where it goes beyond that, again, we're talking almost a week away. The long-range projections do have that storm curving to the north. We'll continue to keep you posted on that. Storm Tracker 2 Skycast, it's a very warm and very humid night tonight, but it is generally dry as overnight lows drop down into the upper 60s. Tomorrow, we're looking at a dry, warm, and sunny start to the day. It's going to be another hot day with temperatures approaching the upper 80s with high humidity. There's going to be the chance of a thunderstorm in the afternoon and evening. Again, this is going to be later in the day. Again, thinking after 4 o'clock for most of this. Some showers and storms possible tomorrow night. Locally heavy rain too. It'll be another warm and humid night. And then Friday, things are trending drier. Maybe a pop-up shower storm. It's still humid, but not quite as warm. Temperatures will climb into the low 80s. A better chance of rain is expected on Saturday. Very muggy tonight, down to 68. Tomorrow, we're looking at humid conditions, thunderstorms later in the day, a high of 87. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast. Now, I know when a cold front rolls through, we often see a dramatic change. This is not going to be one of those cold fronts.
Okay.
This one moves really slowly, so it's still very warm and humid on Friday, and then that front stalls over the area over the weekend, bringing us some locally heavy rain.
I see some of the latest models even have the sun coming out a little bit on Friday.
It is looking better Friday. Again, everything's kind of slowing down, so looks better on Friday, not better over the weekend.
All right, sounds good. Thanks, Bill. Coming up next, what a new study